The loudest person in the room is never in control. They think their words win the game, but it's your silence that seals it. Because when you stop talking, they start revealing. They show their fear, their need for approval, their desperation to dominate. And while they try to impress you, you're already 10 steps ahead, collecting leverage, not attention. This is how silence wins. Not passively, but with precision. Let's weaponize it. In a world addicted to noise, silence is rebellion. Everyone's talking to be seen, to be validated, to fill the emptiness they're afraid to face. So when you sit there and say nothing, you create a mirror, and people project their deepest insecurities onto it. They start guessing what you're thinking. They fill in the blanks with fear, guilt, or desperation. They spiral. You observe. Silence makes people uncomfortable, not because they feel ignored, but because they feel exposed. And that's your first edge. Because the moment someone talks to fill space, they stop being strategic and start being emotional. That's when the power flips. Because now you're not reacting, you're watching, you're storing, you're reading them in real time. And they don't even know they're performing for you. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. It's not just about being quiet. It's about being in control of yourself and of others. Here's why it works. Silence creates ambiguity. People fear what they don't understand. When you speak less, you become harder to predict, and unpredictability is power. Words commit you. The more you say, the more you reveal your intentions, your weaknesses, your limits. Silence keeps your position flexible and your enemies confused. Silence triggers insecurity. People who need validation will keep talking to try and get a reaction from you. And the more they speak, the more they expose. You don't need to fight them. You just need to let them talk long enough to lose the fight themselves.
Let's look at real-world examples of this in motion. 1. Negotiation. Two people walk into a deal. One talks fast, overshares, tries to sound smart. The other listens, nods, and stays silent after every offer. What happens? The talker negotiates against himself. He lowers the price. He reveals his limits. He even starts defending things you never asked about. Why? Because silence is pressure, and most people crack. 2. Conflict. You're being attacked, verbally, emotionally, maybe even publicly. They expect you to defend, to react, to fight back. But you just look at them and say nothing. What happens? They escalate. They lose composure. They start looking like the unstable one. You've just flicked the power dynamic by refusing to participate. 3. Manipulation. Someone tries to guilt trip you, love bomb you, bait you. You don't explain. You don't apologize. You just go quiet. The manipulator panics because now they don't know if it worked. That's their greatest fear: being ignored, being powerless, being seen. Your silence becomes their unraveling. Now let's get practical. Here's how to turn silence into a tool of dominance. 1. Use the pause. Before responding, in any setting, pause for 3 seconds. Just look at them. This makes people nervous. They'll interpret the pause as judgment or calculation and start second-guessing themselves. Power moves quietly. 2. Break the pattern. If someone expects you to be reactive, change the script. When they shout, whisper. When they accuse, remain calm. When they expect a reaction, give them stillness. Your silence will create more impact than any comeback. 3. End conversations on your terms. When you sense someone wants control, end the interaction first. Say, "We'll revisit this later. I've said all I need to say. I don't think this conversation serves us right now." Then walk away. Your exit becomes the power play. 4. Study their talk, don't add to it. People reveal everything if you let them talk long enough. Instead of jumping in with your story, question, or opinion, just nod. Let them keep going. You'll hear their motives, their wounds, their fears. Silence isn't passive. It's data collection. And information is leverage.
It doesn't matter where you are. Boardroom, relationship, friendship, negotiation. Law 4 holds true. The person who speaks least holds the most power. Why? Because they're not emotionally invested in being heard. They're invested in being remembered. And you're never remembered for how loud you were. You're remembered for how intentional you were. Speak when it adds weight. Pause when it creates tension. Stay silent when others expect control. Over time, people begin to treat your words like currency because they know you never speak without purpose. Here's what most people get wrong. They think silence is weakness. They think if you don't explain yourself, you've lost. If you don't fight back, you've surrendered. But you're not surrendering. You're observing. You're choosing your moment. Because timing is power, and silence buys you time. So the next time someone tries to bait you, dominate you, or win over you, don't explain. Don't react. Let them talk. Let them show you who they are. Let them hand you the leverage. Then, when the time is right, use it. That's how you weaponize silence. That's how you turn Law 4 into a force. Not through words, but through mastery.